Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. It was done using the script shown above me, which is something my friend Lauren and I have been developing since 2011 and has recently been adopted on the TV show Doctor Who as the official Gallifreyan script, seen on doctorwho.tv.com/Gallifreyan. So that's pretty cool to get the nod and to get to work with the BBC. But with that being said, let's go ahead and read this design. So you start reading typically at the bottom and then you go counterclockwise, like a time traveler going back in time. And there's also a handy dandy little start marker in this script, which allows the design to be rotated and shifted and to still know where the first letter of the first word is and which direction counterclockwise is. So that way, a design like this one to be a tattoo on a forearm, when you move your arm, or if you're looking at it from your perspective or somebody else's perspective, you still know where to start because the letters, they look the same no matter how they're rotated. And let's go ahead and get to reading this design. So as I said earlier, it was made to be a tattoo for a forearm in a space 2 inches by 3 inches, and this design here is pretty much exactly 2 inches by 3 inches to fit that space. And I also made all the lines a uniform thickness, and that way for the tattoo artist they can just do one pass, or it can be used as line work for something to later be colored, or you can thicken up the lines of the design and add a little bit of interest or shading there, and that can be done by the tattoo artist, because as long as these lines and circles are here, then it will translate. The thickness in this design does not matter, so you can have a lot of artistic freedom with that with your tattoo artist. So let's go ahead and read this design. Here's our start marker down at the bottom here. And that means our first letter of our first word is this one. And our word circle is this circle here. This circle going around the word circle is our sentence circle, and that's where we put punctuation. For example, this period at the end of the sentence. I did add the period to it just because I felt it balanced quite nicely with all of these other little circles here. So yeah. So this shallow divot taken out of our word circle has 1, 2, 3 little lines on it. And those 3 lines move it to the 3-line column. So if you look above me, there's a grid. And the shallow divot, like a bite taken out of a cookie, puts it in the 3rd row. And then the column with the 3 lines makes an S. So you combine the row and the column, and when those intersect, that tells you what consonant there is. And then vowels are a bit different. There are these little circles here. They are smaller than what consonant stems would be, and their position matters. So because this one is inside of our word circle, it's an O. In fact, here's another O here inside our word circle. You can also put consonants on to different, you can put vowels and consonants together, but I didn't do that in this design for simplicity's sake. So here we have our shallow divot with the 3 lines for the S, continuing around counterclockwise. We have our O inside our word circle. Then in this word circle here, we start with a vowel, and it's centered on the line of our word circle, and it has a line radiating inwards, making it an I. And that little vowel cheat sheet is in the corner of the grid above me. So you'll see an I next to the little circle with a line going inwards. And then this shallow divot has no lines ending on it. So you'll notice these lines, they all end on the shallow divot that they count on, whereas a line passing through does not count. So this does not count here, and this is just a letter T with no line modifiers. Whereas this, on our next word circle, has the line actually end on it. So that means it's in the 1-line column, and it's a deep divot, like a horseshoe. So that means it's in the very top row. So that's our letter G, top row, 1-line column. And then our O, again, inside our word circle, just like this O. And then this E is centered on the line of the word circle, so similar to this I, except it has no line radiating inwards, so that's why it's an E instead of an I. And if it had a line going outwards, it would be a U, and if it were positioned outwards, it would be an A. And the reason why this one, even though positioned outwards, isn't an A is because it's on our sentence circle. And if it's on our sentence circle like this, that means it's a period. So periods, punctuation, and vowels, they look quite similar. All of them are little circles. What matters is the context around them. For example, the O being inside our word circle, the E being centered, and the punctuation being on the sentence circle. And then our last letter here has 1, 2, 3 lines on a shallow divot and is an S, just like this S. And I kind of wanted to have the symmetry of the very first letter being the S and the very last letter being an S to have that visual symmetry with the saying, so it goes. And then there's that period at the end. So that is that design. I hope you like it. Thanks. Bye.